ESPN high school football tonight from Daytona Beach. It's the Offense Defense All-American Bowl from Daytona Beach Municipal Stadium. The American and the National, as the top seniors in the country have arrived in the Sunshine State for their final performance, and we are so glad you decided to join us as well on ESPN with Super Bowl champion Max Starks. I'm Bernie Gunther. Happy New Year to you and yours. Max, you take a look at these players. It is a new year, and they are now a month away from signing with their future college. What's going through their minds?
One of the biggest things you're going to notice tonight is the opportunity to compete. And this is one last chance for these seniors down on the field to make a lasting impression on their potential school or a team that they might have been considering. This is their last audition, and on the national stage in an all-star game with guys from all around the country. Some of these guys could actually be future teammates playing tonight in this game.
Well, you take a look at the prospects on the field. There's tons of talent that are going to be going to the Power 5 schools. What position impresses you the most on both these sides?
On the American side, the running back position really impresses me. I think when you look at some of the guys that are names, the one that sticks out the most, Tyreek Tisdale out of Oak Ridge High School in Orlando, Florida. He's a versatile kid. Talking with the coach before the game, was talking about just how versatile this young man is, not only being able to play a wide receiver position, but a slot a la Wes Welker, and the running back position. So he's a versatile guy that's going to be all around the field today. And on the national side, looking at their defensive backs, the defensive backs look very hungry. They're tall, lean guys, and looking to have a lot of coverage. From what the coach indicated to us, that they'd be running a lot of multi-sets where they're running out of 3 and 4 wide receivers.
Tons of talent here on both the American and national rosters, and for more on what we'll see tonight, let's check in now with the third member of our team. Down on the field is Olivia Stacy.
Well, Bernie and Max, you are absolutely right. This is a huge opportunity for these players. 80 of the top senior standouts from across the country will be playing in tonight's bowl game. We have commits to Ohio State, Florida, Auburn, among many other top college choices. And throughout the game, I'll have a chance to talk to a few of those players about their commitment. So that just adds to the excitement of tonight's game.
Well, thanks so much, Olivia, and it will be great to have you on the sideline as well and get a chance to talk to some of those commitments that are hard commitments that really feel comfortable that a month from now they'll be choosing this particular school. And there's a lot racing through the mind of these players. You think about going back to your senior year in high school. It's so wild to think that you were in one particular place for almost your entire life, and you're really 6 months away from being someplace completely different.
Yeah, it's something when you look back on it, I said, this is a great opportunity for me, but more importantly, this is the start of my future. This is something that I love to do, and I get to continue it beyond high school, do it at a high level, and go up to collegiate level, and potentially, continue my dream after that.
Well, the American team, they won the toss and they deferred to the second half, so the national team will receive. Another interesting note tonight is both these teams have just one quarterback. For the national team, it's Lindsey Scott out of Zachary High School. He's a Syracuse commit. For the American team, it's Keon Howard, their lone quarterback. So with some rain in this great showcase, these are two teams that are looking for a little durability from their quarterback as well.
And this is a great opportunity for these young quarterbacks to showcase playing in not optimal weather. Playing in inclement weather here. The rain is coming down right now, but these teams still look to really want to pass the ball. So the premium is going to be on who can keep the ball out of the defender's hands and who can keep it in their hands so that they can pass it.
Austin Reed getting set to kick off for the American team at Orange. And in a rarity in the Sunshine State, particularly in the winter. Got heavy downpour. It's been 80-plus degrees almost the entire month of December, and finally some cooler weather is on its way, and it has arrived, and it comes with a roar as the rain may go almost this entire night. Reed will kick things off, and we're underway here in the 2016 All-American Senior Bowl. And now the national team, they'll bring out Lindsey Scott, 5'11", 205 pounds, out of Zachary High School. He's going to play for the Syracuse Orange and be playing in the Dome. No need to worry about any of the elements, right?
No need to worry about that, but there are away games that they will have to play, so gives them a little bit of an experience, and who knows, they might take practice outside just to prepare for that up there in New York. one thing to note for our non-high school viewers that probably haven't seen high school games, if a ball touches back in the end zone, it cannot be returned out, so it's an automatic touchback. I thought we want to mention that to you before we got into action.
Yeah, tonight here in this offense-defense All-American Bowl, player safety is of the utmost concern. Obviously, the goal is to showcase the talent for these seniors, as we'll see Lindsey Scott put his feet to the ground on first down. He picks up the first down as he races across the 35-yard line. A gain of 10. But it's obviously, at the end of the day, safety is the most concern, so we won't see any blitzing, really no pressure on the quarterback. So it makes it a little more difficult for the defensive backs tonight.
Yeah, the onus is going to be on quality technique for these DBs because you can't rely on pressure. So you're going to see a lot of kind of zone-style game. You're going to see maybe some man press, but a lot of zone out of both these teams on defense.
Antonio Williams is the tailback. And look at the block up front. You love to see great blocking from the offensive linemen. I'm sure that's one of your favorite things to watch.
Yeah, the offensive linemen here are doing a great job early, making sure that they're establishing the run game. Look at just the goring right there. That's what you want to see. You want to see the O-linemen taking the defensive linemen to the ground legally, but imposing their will because it will pay off in the second half of this game.
17 yards on the carry, and look at this start for the national team. It's all gone on the back of Lindsey Scott. He's yet to fire a pass, but he's used his feet to get 2 first downs. It's first down and 10 from midfield as the rain continues to fall, and now Scott will pass for the first time, and he lost a handle on the football. Scott able to recover, but he is dropped behind the line of scrimmage.
And that's one of the concerns when you have a game that it's raining and you've had a day, all day, well, all week pretty much, of going through great weather. And then right here, he goes to line up the pass and just absolutely slips out of his hands because the quarterback's taught to squeeze the football right before you're about to release it. And I guess as he squeezed it, his fingers got a little slick. So he's going to be using that towel all night to make sure he keeps his hands dry if he is going to be passing.
Tyler Clark drops him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 10 yards. Clark, commitment to the University of Georgia, and now it's 2nd and 20. We'll see the first carry of the football game for Williams. He stopped at the line of scrimmage.
This is what this game is going to look like. It's going to be a physical, in-the-trenches game. And right there, you saw a solid wall by the defensive line. They put the offensive line kind of upright and then allowed the edges to come in and converge on the play. The double team looked like there was a miscommunication on the left side. The left tackle comes on a down block and lets the defensive end come upfield on a free release and make that stop in the backfield.
So the defense stepping up for the American team. They're in orange tonight. It's 3rd and long. Lindsey Scott looking to throw. Fires downfield, and it's going to be complete. No, incomplete, excuse me. Dropped out of bounds. It'll be 4th down coming up, as Lindsey Scott can't connect on his first pass of the night.
Slippery conditions out there, and this is the first pass that Scott has attempted, so the wide receivers also don't really know how well the stick is on their gloves because they are with that synthetic fibers on the hand, so if rain gets on it, it gets a little slick. So I think there's going to be an adjustment for these guys coming out for the next series.
Graham McKinnis is into punt, struggled with the ball handling, and it's going to be blocked in the backfield and picked up by the American. They're headed to the end zone. First point game, return for 39 yards. Jeremiah Littles. But a penalty marker comes in. Or excuse me, Vukovic. There's 2 28s on the American team. They're trying to keep us honest tonight.
Yeah, trying to make sure that we're paying attention. Make it a little tough through the rain. But, yeah, Vukovic is also number 28 along with Jeremiah Littles.
Elijah Vukovic committed, has offers to Boston College and NC State. Let's listen in to the penalty.
Legal formation, offense. Penalty decline, touchdown.
And so we'll go in the touchdown as a touchdown in the book. So Elijah Vukovic out of North Marion High School. How about this heads-up play?
Yeah, right there. Yeah, it's tough. Grant McInnes tries to catch it and then tries to put it off, and there is no way he's going to get past big Jordan Woods, who blocks it. Vukovic picks it up and just looks for the green grass and gets into the end zone. Great heads-up play by Vukovic and Woods to capitalize on the fumbled snap.
He's an athlete that's always swarming around the football and making plays. And now the American has Austin Reed in to attempt the point after the place is down, and the kick is shanked. And so the American is going to have a 6-0 lead on the return by Elijah Vukovic. And Reed looks like he's struggling. A penalty marker again in the backfield. Check out the penalty. Austin Reed would love another opportunity.
Yeah, he would, because a guy jumped the line of scrimmage and was able to actually partially tip that, which led to that shank.
Illegal rush, defense, extra point.
And again, there are some different rules here with this being essentially an all-star game. An illegal rush called on the national side, and so that's going to give the American a chance, one more chance to make it 7-0. But those linemen, they love to get going. It's hard to hold them back, right?
It's hard to hold a lineman back, especially when you think of the turnover that led to this. They're upset. They're emotional. They want it, especially a defensive lineman for the national team, wanted to be a part of this and want to get on the field. And now the offense has to go back on the field, and they have to wait even longer to get into this game.
Austin Reed didn't look much better on the second try, but that one does split the upright. So it'll be a 7-0 advantage for the American team. Elijah Vukovic helps bring the block punt back into the house for the American team. 8:36 to play in the first quarter. American team up 7-0 here on a rainy night in Daytona Beach.
Offense, defense football camps, ages 7 to 17. Over 40 plus locations across the nation. Join us this summer and learn the skills necessary to dominate the gridiron. Offense, defense football camps. The oldest and best contact camps in the country. OD.com.
Establishing the family base camp on Daytona Beach is a time-honored ritual. Obsessive? Maybe. Scientific? Definitely. But absolutely authentic. On the original American beach. There's plenty to see on Daytona Beach, but you have the vacation shops to know. It's best to leave some of that eye candy in the wrapper. When others speedo, you speedon't. On the original American Beach.
The Offense Defense All-American Bowl on ESPN is brought to you by Offense Defense Football Camp and Speed School. Take your game to the next level. Visit OD.com and sign up today. Gatorade, win from within. And by the Daytona Beach Visitor and Convention Bureau. Well, a very happy new year to you and yours. Super Bowl champion Max Starks, Olivia Stacy, and our entire ESPN crew. Hoping that the first day of the new year was a good one. Wasn't such a bright one for your Florida Gators, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, the mighty Fighting Gators fell to the Michigan Wolverines, bringing our grand total to 0-3 against the Wolverines.
But see, what does that remind you? Take a look at the sunrise. It will come up tomorrow.
Yes, indeed. It will, and Jim McElwain gets his first recruiting class in about a month and a half, so bright things on the horizon.
Austin Reed committed to play football up at Duke. They've picked up a number of fabulous players in the offseason. He's kind of pops this one up, and it's corralled in front of the 40-yard line, and this national team's going to have much better field position for their second start. And going back to the first possession by the national team, Lindsey Scott really had everything going. He used his footwork and his feet to get out front. What do you like to see a little more from the national quarterback?
I think the biggest thing that we're going to have to see first is passing the ball and making a connection with these receivers. The rain appears to have died down a little bit, so hopefully there will be a better grip on the football. But seeing how Lindsey Scott's accuracy and finding the wide open receiver and getting this offense to being more two-dimensional than just one-dimensional, relying on the run.
Lindsey Scott is under center, and Mo Neal is behind him. And how about this? It's two Syracuse commits going with one another, and Scott fakes the handoff. It goes to the outside. He's dropped for a loss of 2 yards.
That was a big move there. It looked to be Jordan Woods again in the backfield making a play. Jordan Woods sets the edge and comes up. Jordan Woods actually forced the outback call, but it was actually, number 90 that made the play there. So Jordan Woods sets the edge and allows for 90 to come up in that linebacker position, playing over the slot at the top of the screen.
So it's 2nd down and 12, and this time Scott does hand it off to Mo Neal, and Neal is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and long. Woods right up there. He's made a number of big plays, and there's not a whole lot that the defensive backs can do in this type of football game, but they can do what they're supposed to do well and fill the gaps.
And that's going to be the onus here. Filling and staying with your gap assignments as a defensive lineman, because you can't blitz and you can't twist, so your lane integrity is going to be key. And Jordan Woods is doing a great job of securing that left edge or defensive right edge.
Lindsey Scott set to throw on 3rd and 12, and the pass is going to be complete for a 1st down. Nice little football play there. A gain of 12 yards on the pass completion to Mo Neal, who came out of the backfield to make the play. These two are hoping to connect at Syracuse next year.
Yes, they are. Great job here on a little slight rollout to the right. Mo Neal runs the misdirection and then comes back across on a shallow crosser and gets wide open in the middle of the field to catch it and give them the 1st down.
Mo Neal went to Forest View High School in Gastonia, North Carolina. And look at Lindsey Scott. He's got the team working now after his first pass completion. Rolling out, looking to throw again. Comes to the near side, and the pass is going to be caught and complete. Close to the 30-yard line. It'll be marked out of bounds at the 31. As that time he connects with Adenomosho out of Plano East Senior High School.
Scott here, he's now starting to get the rhythm. He sees his first reads not open. It looked like a quick screen. He rolls out, creates some space, and then finds Audi on the outside edge coming back on a dig route.
12 yards on the pickup. And Audi trying to choose between UCLA and Oklahoma State out of Peoria, Illinois. Scott's got the offense moving. Rolling out again, looking to throw, and comes back. And that's a tough throw because he was rolling left, had to throw back to his right, but he makes the pass completion.
That's a skilled play. And this is what the high school all-star game is all about, showing the versatility of these quarterbacks. As Scott's rolling left and having to throw across his body to a receiver that's still even further to the left is a tough throw, but once again, this is why he was selected to come play in this game, is because he's an above-average, skilled quarterback, and showing those type of things. The last 3 plays that he's made pass attempts, he's made some great throws and shown some great accuracy and some touch on the ball.
Donnell Dunn with the reception. And the national team, they're in the red zone for the first time today. And look at Scott trying to keep it straight up the middle. Picking up about 5 yards.
Scott has the footwork. He's showing that he is a dual threat quarterback, which is what colleges are looking for now in today's NCAA. And Scott ran a quarterback design counter to the right, flanked back the running back. So we see right here, fullback comes wide on the blocking scheme. The left guard pulls around and up in the hole, and Scott follows right behind him to give them a decent gain to put them closer in the red zone.
2nd down and 6 after officially it'll be a pickup of 4. Scott looking to throw. Eyes to the end zone, and the pass is going to be incomplete. It was caught but out of bounds.
So close. Nice job there by NEAL to to push that corner route to the back pylon. Scott just sent it a little bit too far to the left here. Scott spies it, throws him, and NEAL's got 3 steps on the defender, but Scott sailed it just a little high for him and a little bit too far to the outside.
It's the first incomplete pass of the football game for Scott. He's 3 for 4 passing. He's thrown for 39 yards. He's rushed 3 times for -8. It's 3rd and 6. Scott looking to throw again, and the pass is going to be complete, but well short of the first down. NEAL makes the completion. But now 4th down, and we will see the field goal unit come on. And that's a little bit tricky for these teams, especially to get special teams working with just a couple of days to practice with one another.
New scheme and very watered down version of that. You think it's going to be the easiest thing, but it is still tough to get chemistry because you have a new long snapper, holder, and kicker working together really for the first time. So there can be issues in those exchanges, but we'll see. They're all-stars, so hopefully they figure that out in the couple of days they've had to work together.
This is Quinn Norton from Rockford High School in Rockford, Michigan, a Penn State commit. Looking at 3 points of the national total. Places down, the kick is up, and it is straight through. And with 3:44 to play in the first half, the national team is on the scoreboard for the first time in the football game. And Lindsey Scott did a nice job controlling the offense there on that possession.
Lindsey Scott came out the second drive. He made the adjustments. The first drive, rain was a little tough. The grip wasn't quite there. And on the second drive, he really showed what he had to offer. You saw him run on the ground. You saw him make some great throws, cross-body on a rollout, in the pocket, running that deep comeback and throwing, and then, of course, finding an open receiver when the pocket broke down with NEAL running across the middle on a shallow route.
So the national team, they've had the football almost the entire first quarter offensively. The block punt was returned by the Americans, Vukovic. That's their only score. And Keon Howard, he's got to be chomping at the bit for his opportunity to finally get into this football game and run the American offense.
This is one of the tough and frustrating things, being in high school, having the clock that you do. But for a young man, you also have to realize that your team's already put points on the board. So the pressure for you to come out and have to perform has now been lessened at least a little bit. But I understand that Keon Howard wants to get out there, and listening to the coach pregame, he was really excited about what this young man can do and what he can offer. And I'm looking forward to seeing their offense as well as seeing Nationals defense combat that, because this is a crew, looking at them in warm-ups, they look in the zone and ready to attack.
Well, maybe our first look at Tyrese Tyndale back to receive among others for the American team. Quinn Norton, who just added 3 points to the total for the national team, set to kick off with 3:44 to play here in the first quarter. This one will be returnable from the 3-yard line. And a big gap. Indeed. And they'll return it all the way to the 50-yard line. Returned by Steven Smothers for 44 yards.
And looks like it doesn't take too much time to get a rapport with your kickoff return squad. They open up the middle of this field, and it looked great from the beginning. Set up the middle return, and when your personal protector, who's the deep to second middle returner, can get that lead block like he did, Smothers had daylight, and he took full advantage of it.
So Howard's in the shotgun for the first time in the football game. They've got the ball near midfield, and they're going to hand it off on first down. Theo Anderson is in the football game. He'll pick up 1 yard. It's a hard commit to Pittsburgh. 4.86 is his 40 time, 5'10", 217. What do the colleges like about him?
Built as a bruiser. He's stacked up. He looks like your typical kind of big northern back. And as you see right there, he wants to run between the tackles. The offensive line gave away a little bit, but he looks like one of those backs inside of the pit offense who can run between the tackles, but also is not scared to take contact.
Howard hands it off again. Anderson with a little more running room here, picks up the first down and more before he's pushed out of bounds at the 41-yard line. A gain of 11 before Dante Evans helped push him out of bounds.
Tried the dive on the first play, and this time they come back with the weak side counter to the left. Anderson reads it. The guard has a log block, so he bounces it outside and gets a great gain.
2.5 to play, and the American team is moving the football. There's the first pass completion, and the ball looked like it was right there at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be complete to Cameron McKay.
Howard must have saw something, threw the quick pass. It didn't look like it was designed that way, trying to catch the defense, probably an off coverage. And the defense, these defensive backs, I said, were hungry and focused, and they came up and read that, and no gain.
Howard lost the football at first, picks it back up, and then he'll just jaunter out of bounds. Still a heads-up football play by the quarterback.
Great heads-up play by him to tip the ball in a place that was manageable. Once he turned around, he loses vision from the field, so it's not like he can just wing it once he gets out of the box because he doesn't know where his receivers are. So as you see right here, catches it a little high and to the right. He gets up and just realizes, hey, I don't see anybody I can throw it to not get intentional grounding, so just run out of bounds for the loss.
They lose 8 yards on the carry. Tyreek Tinsdale in the backfield now for the first time in the football game. But Howard will throw on 3rd and long. That one tipped up in the air. It goes in and out of the hands. It'll fall incomplete. It'll be 4th down, and the punting unit will come on for the American team.
The ball sizzled out of Howard's hand on that throw. He got the ball and wanted to get it out there. He liked what he saw on the wide receiver screen, but unfortunately it was too high and coming too fast. Receiver could not corral it in.
So punting opportunity. The American team leading 7-3. That's going to be a short kick. It'll take an American hop down to the 21-yard line. We're going to get another chance to see Lindsey Scott work the offense. A punt of 29 yards.
That took a very generous bounce there, because looking at the hang time and the distance initially on that kick, you really thought that
a disaster, right?
Yeah, you thought, oh my goodness, it's going to be like a 20-yard punt, but it takes a very generous bounce, then puts it now in manageable, giving American a nice part of the field to work with to defend.
So Scott and company will start from the 21-yard line for the final 90 seconds here of the first quarter. And they get a big running play on 1st down, and they'll pick up a 1st down right up the middle. Nice little run there by Trajan Butler, a gain of 11.
Yeah, Trajan does a great job of reading what we call the wham play. It's an inside A-gap hitting play. Left guard pulls on a short pull and opens up the A-gap between the center and the right guard, and he made a great read there.
Scott hands it off again on 1st down, and why not? And another big gain. 5 yards on the pickup there by Antonio Williams. Williams, a 4-year varsity starter. He had almost 10,000 yards in his football career, finished with 9,403 yards. 8,900 came on the ground and 475 receiving. He's going to play for Urban Myers and the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's the plan, at least at the moment, and what a great program to be a part of. They are coming off the big win today against Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl. And it's an Ohio State team that many people think they're constantly in that national championship equation.
They're always in the spotlight, and with the departure of Ezekiel Elliott, it leaves an opening for this young man to come in and make an immediate impact on that Ohio State team if he so chooses to sign there on signing day. But great opportunity there, and showing skills like this, I don't think it'll be too tough a decision for Urban on signing day to insert this kid and have him work into the fold.
O'Neal picks up the first down. As the final seconds are going to tick away here in the first quarter. Lindsey Scott in the national offense on the move, but it's Vukovic with a special teams touchdown. The only touchdown so far, the offense-defense All-American Bowl. 12 minutes in the books from Daytona Beach. National team, they're moving, looking for their first touchdown of this football game.
Defense football camps ages 7 to 17. Over 40 plus locations across the nation. Join us this summer and learn the skills necessary to dominate the gridiron. Offense, defense football camps. The oldest and best contact camps in the country. OD.com.
You could be the best in your house.
And then your state.
Then get all the love.
You could be the best in this house.
You could be faster than the fastest. You could carry on a legacy.
Then add a couple of these.
And then make everyone want to be like you.
And you can stop there, but you won't, because you're not done yet.
For the athletes moving the game forward, Gatorade's creating the fuel to do the same. Fueling today, fueling the future.
(7-3) American on top of National, and this has been a game over its 10 years that has featured so many great football players. And we go back to the first All-American Senior Bowl, and it's none other than Cam Newton making his display. He was the MVP back then, and you could already tell that he had some great football skills.
Great skills indeed. You saw it at the high school level, and then it just translated. He was supposed to be a Gator, but things happened. He went to Auburn, had an amazing year there, and then you already see what he's doing this year in the NFL, a MVP season indeed. But looking at that list, you got Joe Hayden, Casey Matthews, Golden Tate, Earl Thomas, Des Bryant. I could say easily on that list, everybody on there has been to a Pro Bowl or been considered the top at their positions. Tavon Austin, who is a difference maker for the Rams, Zach Mettenberger, Kenny Stills, and Kelvin Benjamin, all great players, all started here at the Offense-Defense Senior Bowl.
This is what it's all about. It's the final stop for these athletes before National Signing Days. And it's an opportunity, especially now tonight on ESPN, for them to showcase their skills to a national audience, because even if they're a great high school player, it's not every day that you still get to really watch them play, because that's going to be another snap that is it's Lindsey Scott struggles to pick up, and this is going to be an even bigger loss than the loss of 8 that we saw earlier.
The field conditions are not great out here. It's muddy. They're right along the middle emblem of that says Daytona Beach. and there's a lot of mud around that area, so the center has to do a great job of keeping that ball clean and making sure that he has a good grip and sending it back to the quarterback who's in that pistol formation. One of the adjustments that could be made might most likely be to go under center. I don't know if Scott's used to that, because he does look comfortable in the pistol / shotgun set, but hopefully if you want to continue to have success, you're going to need to change up something, help your center out. Maybe that's go under center and take the snap.
It's a loss of 17 yards. This game is being played on field turf, and a couple years ago we'd say that there's not a whole lot of high schools that would even have the experience of playing on a surface like field turf that you'd only see at the NFL or collegiate level. But now at the high school level, it seems like there's a lot more groundskeepers that are saying, hey, it's a lot easier for me to take care of this, so they're probably used to it now. Yeah,
it is an easier turf to deal with when maintained properly.
Yeah, how did you like it as an athlete, especially at the professional level?
At the professional level, when I played, there were still so many different types of surfaces, because you had more so carpet with the St. Louis Rams at the time, and it was this shiny, shimmery stuff that looked like a kid cut it out. But you get to like Baltimore Ravens, a very hard surface, Cincinnati, and so teams are now starting to become more standardized in it. But it looks like a lot of extra cork is out on this field because it looks very chalked up from our view in the booth.
Lindsey Scott trying to rush on second down. It picks up just a couple. It's going to be third and very long. And of course, as a Pittsburgh Steeler, you guys played on grass.
Played
the only
on
way to do
grass,
it, right?
And that's the way God intended for football to be played. But when you look at it, there are advancements, there are advantages to having the field turf, but Pittsburgh's very old school, and the Rooney family will not yield on that. They had it in the old Three Rivers Stadium, and it was a nightmare, a lot of injuries. So they're the team that said when they had Heinz Field built, they wanted to have natural grass, and they do a great job of trying to keep it maintained as much as possible. But you have a lot of teams playing on there. You have teams like a Pitt and like the high school state playoffs that play on it, so it makes it tough to keep it later in the year.
Third down and very long, 25 yards, and we'll see if Scott can try to complete a pass. Instead, they'll just set up a little bubble screen at the outside, and they'll need to run for it. They're going to be well short of it. It'll be fourth down. Many of these players, obviously, with the aspirations of trying to follow, I guess, in many ways, your footsteps, are looking to go on to a major school like you did playing at Florida. And then, of course, everybody hopes to get to that next level. But obviously, it's all about stepping stones. And this is really, in many ways, one of the first steps, because it shows, if you made it to this All-American Bowl, that you are on the radar of having that type of potential.
It's a stepping stone in the right direction. These young men all have commitments and offers from various schools around the country. It's about making a decision, finishing off your school year strong academically, and then going into said university and adding to that and realizing you have to be a student athlete to be successful at the next level. So it's going to take a total mind and body focus to excel at the next level. And then if you're so lucky, you play in another senior all-star game potentially to go on to the next level.
Punt is corralled by Steven Smothers. A punt of 48 yards and 0 yards on the return. What was the biggest thing going back to your recruiting that you were looking for when you chose at the time to play for Steve Spurrier and the Florida Gators? Because it's a really difficult challenge even for a senior in high school to make.
It's a tough decision for an 18-year-old, and especially for the family of the 18-year-old, because this opportunity is a whirlwind. So many coaches are coming at you, they're giving you offers and trying to get adjusted to where do I want to go, what's the best fit for me by my position, the best philosophy on either side of the ball, plus success of the school and academics as well. You have to balance all of that into the equation when you make a decision.
Arnold started the shotgun as they begin from their own 16. He looks to throw on first down, and his pass is going to be picked off and intercepted. A big turnover there. Intercepted by Ronnie Blackmon out of Atlanta, Georgia. A Colorado commit.
And I told you at the top of this show that the DBs were going to be some difference makers. They were hungry and focused. And right there, Blackmon just absolutely shadows the receiver. And he goes up and makes a great play Ball's thrown a little bit inside. Scott needed to get more of a back shoulder throw on there. Threw it on the inside. Blackmon was blanketing him and pressing him to make his own bracket with the sideline and picks that off.
So again, we see Lindsey, Scott, and company with some pretty good field position trying to get their first touchdown of this football game. Scott will hand it off on first down. Not a whole lot happening. Stop at the line of scrimmage. NEAL. You see his strengths. He's quick-footed, a dynamic running back who does a great job using his speed when he can get to the outside. Obviously, he's hoping that some big offensive linemen like yourself at the next level can open up some gaps for him.
Yes, indeed, because it's going to be a big task. And this American defensive line is a stout group. I mean, we've already seen in the first series how well Jordan Woods has been playing off of that defensive end position. But when you look in the middle of that line as well, you're looking at Kyrie Campbell and Quinnen Williams and Tyler Clark. These are some big boys who are solid at controlling the line of scrimmage.
Scott flips it to the outside on second down, and all sorts of running room this time as they get to the outside, and that's going to be one of the difference makers. You can see him get to the outside. He's going to have a lot more opportunity to make some big-time plays.
The edge of this American defense is where the national team wants to go because they know that the middle of this defense is so stout on the defensive line. So what's the best way is to get outside of those tackles, like right there, and force the athletes to have to cover. Those linebackers are in the box. They're going to have to try and separate them more. And if that's the case, now you can run in between the tackles. So it's trying to dilute this stout defensive front, and you do it by taking the edges away from them.
Antonio Williams, a pickup of 17. Yeah, the national team, they're just shy of the red zone for the second time in the football game. Scott this time calls his own number, goes straight up the middle and picks up 5.
Solid zone read decision by Scott there. Because they already had success on the edge, America's probably thinking, let's play wider contain. He makes the read. The defensive end converges on that option. So Scott pulls it and runs underneath the defensive end to get that 5-yard gain.
Antonio Williams in the backfield. National team continuing to spread out the offense. Scott takes the high snap and he looks to throw on second down. Nope. Now tries to cut back. Gets a big block from Williams and is going to use his feet as he tries to pick up the first down. He's got the first down out of bounds as he gets inside the 20-yard line. That is a huge pickup by the QB. And how about the block there by Antonio Williams, helping get a 7-yard pickup.
Tremendous block here. Scott catching that pass a little gingerly for me with the rollout spread. It looked like a light spread out to the left. Comes back, nothing's open. Anthony Williams delivers a devastating blow on the defensive end, and Scott reads it and knows where the sticks are and gets the first down.
Six and a half to play before the half here in Daytona Beach. Scott calls his number again. And another big pickup before he's hammered as he comes across the line of scrimmage. A pickup of 4 yards there.
National team has been doing a great job this drive of keeping the defense spread out. You've seen a lot of 3 and 4 wide receiver sets, a little bit of a displaced tight end, not necessarily on the end line of scrimmage, but more of in an H-back role, coming around and trying to make those blocks. And Scott has been doing a great job of just reading what this defense is giving him and taking advantage of it either with his feet or down the field on a pass.
National team at the 5. And Scott will throw on second down, takes his time. Buying so much time and then finally goes down. And looks a little bit shaken up there on that play. Got to credit Really, the defensive backs there with a coverage sack.
Defensive backs did a great job of sticking with these receivers. And when you get into the red zone, it's a lot tougher for receivers to get open because of defenses running zone and having that back end line and knowing that you can't get beat too far deep because there's an end zone. So it's the onus becomes a lot tougher. It becomes more on the offensive line right there. The right guard lost his block and forced Scott outside of his comfort zone and forced him to roll. So it's going to be something they're going to have to see coming on this big third down. Can they convert or can they get in the end zone?
They take a timeout. We'll take one as well. Nashville's on the move, trailing 7-3 in the Offense-Defense All-American Bowl.
Defense football camps ages 7 to 17. Over 40 plus locations across the nation. Join us this summer and learn the skills necessary to dominate the gridiron. Offense, defense football camps. The oldest and best contact camps in the country. OD.com.
Establishing the family base camp on Daytona Beach is a time-honored ritual. Obsessive? Maybe. Scientific? Definitely. But absolutely authentic. On the original American beach. There's plenty to see on Daytona Beach, but you have the vacation shops to know. It's best to leave some of that eye candy in the wrapper. When others speedo, you speedon't. On the original American beach.
Happy New Year from Daytona Beach. The American on top. Let's check in now down on the field with a third member of our team, Olivia Stacy.
Bernie, well, all of this football certainly works up an appetite. And in fact, a few Daytona Beach eateries ran out of food, supplying all these football players and the coaches with food. Sloppy Joe's was a sponsor. They fed all of the coaches. You can take a look at this delicious bacon burger. I hope that we have an image of it because it looks very tasty. And Wing House actually ran out of food, and so did Hog Heaven Barbecue. They actually had to order emergency backup food supplies, and that just goes to show how much effort these guys are putting in. They are working up an appetite.
It was a 1-pound bacon burger challenge. They said there's a number of players, 40 plus, that stepped up and completed the challenge for the free t-shirt.
And that is a great job by them. You got to love when guys take the challenge like that, and I appreciate the 1-pound bacon burger challenge.
Third down. Is this where the drive stops? Are you surprised that the national team decided to rush on third down?
I'm a little surprised because they had momentum going in their favor, and Scott seemed to be comfortable with the passing game. I don't know what that is. They have enough quality guys why you wouldn't try and go something a little bit deeper, because you are in the red zone, so the defense is going to stay close to the box if you don't spread them out in 4 wides.
So it'll be fourth down, and the national team set to try to kick in their second field goal of this football game. This will be a 20-yard attempt. Quinn Norden is the field goal kicker. A chance to make it 7-6. Places down, and the kick looks a whole lot better there. That's the North.
Hey, just needed a little bit more room. I really wish that kid was coming down south to Gainesville because we could use his leg. But nonetheless, good luck to him going up there to Penn State if that's the decision by the end, because these are commitments, but there is a month and some change left that they could change their minds, and coaches could make that last push to try and sway them to their school.
But I would assume the final month, the cell phone's got to be really, really busy with messages. Coaches trying to make that final push, see if they can break through, get you on the squad.
A lot of coaches, especially given their recruiting zones, are going to be looking at those kids, even though they're listed on the commitment list. It's not done until you sign your name on the paper, so you'll see a lot of flurries coming from these coaches, especially now that most of these bowl games after today have wound down. There's a handful left, and the coaches are on the recruiting trail. Probably some here in the stands with us tonight. They can't identify themselves because there's no contact allowed, but you have to imagine that with the Citrus Bowl being right up the street, with the Orange Bowl being right down south, there were some schools that probably sent some scouts up here to check out these kids for tonight's game.
Yeah, busy day of college football the last 2 nights. College football playoff. Clemson, Alabama surviving, they move on. But you wish that there was a college football playoff back in your collegiate days.
I really do, especially in the 01 season. That would have been an amazing time for us to go and put our stamp on that game.
The kick is going to go out of bounds at the 3. It was touched before it went out of bounds. So a little bit of a mistake there because that one would have went out. Instead, it's going to be some not so good field position for this American team after it was touched by Tyreek Tinsdale out of Oak Ridge High School.
Yeah, great punt there by the national team to pin. It's not quite called a coffin corner punt, but that ball was going to fall out, and Tisdale tries to keep it at least on the 5, but doesn't get a chance to save it.
So Tinsdale's in the backfield alongside Howard. They'll hand it off to Tinsdale, who struggles just to get across the end zone line. They're going to mark him at the 2 for a loss of 1.
Tough sledding there. When you're backed up this deep in your own part of the field, the most important thing is to get a first down. That's the goal. When you're pinned this deep, you want to get the first down, so at least it's a victory in their minds that you moved and were able to change field position. If you don't get the first down, it makes it very tough on your punter to put you in a position to be successful.
Howard uses his feet to give the American a little room. He gets out to the 9-yard line. A pickup of 7. And it's now a manageable 3rd down. That was what it was all about back in your football career, I would assume. Make it 3rd and manageable.
3rd and manageable is key if you want to be successful. You don't have as many plays available to you when it's 3rd and long, but when you're in 3rd and 5 or less, the whole entire playbook's still open to you. Like here, you can run the ball to get the first down, or you can pass it, and there's a lot of different options you can use. And right there, great job, great vision by, appears to be Mackey that got the first down for them.
First down and more across midfield, and he's headed to the end zone and pushed out of bounds around the 5-yard line. Oh my goodness. Keon Howard with a pass of 75 yards there.
Great job by Howard to identify. It looked like they were going to throw the slot screen. The safety comes up to the line, and Howard gets behind and makes a great play and races down the sideline for that huge gain for American.
And look at this. It changes in a matter of moments, doesn't it? They're on the brink of a safety, and now they're on the brink of a touchdown with 2 minutes to play here in the first half.
Just a great job by this team.
Inside, handoff to Cameron McKee. It's going to be 3rd down and goal after a pickup of 4.
And on that 75-yard play, Harmon was the receiver there to make that play. And just a great job, great play design drawn up here by the American offensive coach to draw that fake. It almost looked like a fake screen, and Harmon just stepped about 5 yards up with the stop route and completely takes off.
Kelvin Harmon, 66 receptions. That's a New Jersey State leading 1,104 yards receiving. And this is why when he gets the football in his hands, man, can he make some plays.
And just absolutely stiff arms the DB and takes off. And it's a tremendous effort coming across the field, Shaka Toney, to save that touchdown on that play.
The good news for Kelvin Hammond is he has an opportunity to have a future as a wide receiver, defensive back, and they say even a linebacker. So it's good to have your options.
It's good to have options because when you're an athlete, they'll find ways of getting you on the field. And when you have different areas that you can showcase skill, a specific skill set, it transfers well to the next level.
3rd down and goal to go. It looks like they're going to be stopped short right at the 1-yard line. And now decision time. On 4th and goal, what would you do here? All-star game, you got to go for it?
At this particular juncture, points are at a premium. You're that close. Worst case scenario, you pin the opposing offense that deep, I go for it.
Cameron McKee in the backfield. They give it to McKee. Goes right up the middle and in the end zone for the touchdown. The first offensive strike of the football game for the American.
This was a great job by McKee going in for that run. He ran with authority. He put his head down, eyes up, and absolutely went to go truck somebody in the end zone. Got a head full of steam here. Great down block by the offensive line to clear the hole for him, and he skates in there very easily, giving American another score in this ball game.
Cameron McKee, he's listed on our roster as a wide receiver, but he rushed for over 1,000 yards as a senior with 10 touchdowns. He caught 19 passes for 267 yards. And he's got some decisions to make. Will it be Cincinnati or Kentucky? Those are the two teams that he's looking at. Kentucky's been a team that's been on the up and up of late.
Kentucky has done a great job in the last 2 years of really building this program and getting to where they're tired of being the school known just for basketball.
Right.
They're having that kind of renaissance move over to being a football team that needs to be mentioned in the SEC, being in the East for so many years, dominated by Florida, Georgia, Tennessee. Kentucky's that team that's right on the cusp. They have a solid defense and a young offense. So you look at adding a kid like McKee potentially to this team, he could be a difference maker because he can play so many different positions.
Take another look at the touchdown a moment ago. And Olivia's down on the field.
Elijah, you started off the game with an explosive play. Talk about that special teams touchdown. You put the American team on the board first, and that certainly picked up the momentum for this game.
Mostly I have to give it to the D-line. They did an awesome job blocking. I seen the ball in the air. I heard it all around me, grab it. So I grabbed it and took off the end zone. It was amazing.
And you have an exciting next step ahead in college. You are deciding between NC State as well as Boston College. What are you looking for in your college program?
Academics. Most important is academics to prepare for after college. That's mainly what I look for.
Well, best of luck to you in this game. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, Olivia. Elijah Vukovic. Offers from Boston College, from NC State. And you think about now how much of a role academics plays. You even find yourself, now you've lived the dream. You played college football, you played in the NFL, and now you're hoping that your collegiate expertise is going to help take you to a new job career as well.
Yeah, and I love to hear what Elijah Vukovic said there about academics being number one, and showing his athletic skills gives you an opportunity to further that academic prowess without having to pay for the tuition. So I appreciate what that young man said. That's a very smart statement from that young man, and I can't wish him but nothing but the best. And he has two good options in Boston College and North Carolina State.
Well, the national team, 2 field goals is all they've been able to come up with in their couple of long trips they've had in this football game. And one more chance before this first half comes to its conclusion, but just 1:09 to play. But that's still a lot of time left.
A lot of time. We don't have the running clock like the younger games that we had with the Rising Stars. These kids still have time to operate a 2-minute drill, no huddle. Of course, the weather's not helping too much, but they do have plenty of time to at least make a stand at trying to put some points on the board.
Scott will be back to pass. Flushed out of the pocket, fires downfield, and it's incomplete.
Just a little bit high there. He had a clean read. Scott didn't see what he liked originally, moved the defensive coverage with his feet by moving out to the left, and delivered a rocket just a little bit too high to his open receiver.
So now you have even more decisions. 3rd down and 5. If you decide to throw the football, that means that the American may have one more chance.
It bodes well for American if they can hold on this. This is 3rd and medium.
Scott is going to try to pick it up with his legs. Scampers across the 30, and he's going to come awfully close to the first down yardage that he needs. But it looks like he's going to come about a yard short.
Timeout, defense.
And it really doesn't matter because now the American is going to take a timeout to stop the clock with 56 seconds. They smell blood.
They smell blood in the water, and a solid effort by Scott to try and get that first down when the offensive line broke down, but fortunately got tackled just short. Solid tackle of the American defense, a heads-up play by the coaches to get that timeout called so they could preserve some time and make a drive of their own.
56 seconds remaining. So American hoping maybe for a big punt return possibly. Their offense really started to click on that last drive when they got that 75-yard reception by Kelvin Hammond.
Backed up in their own side of the field. Almost, you're looking at the 8-yard line on a 3rd and medium, and you have that big explosive play that changes the field and puts them in a position, and they score off of that. So they're looking for a poor punt from the national team or at least a returnable punt.
Graham McInnes, this is a good punt, and it's going to take a national bounce, and the Americans going to have to go 80 yards to score a touchdown, as Kareem Felder will down it at the 20-yard line after a 49-yard punt. So they got 48 seconds to play here in the opening half.
Plenty of time left on the clock to get into field goal range. Howard's found some comfort in the pocket, so look for him to kind of move around and try and find some open receivers, but you need to have chunks. This is a good amount of time, but you have one timeout left, so you need a big hitter towards the sidelines to help get you in that position because you can't burn that timeout too soon.
Keon Howard in the shotgun, scampers around. Thought he was buying time to try to fire it downfield, but he'll step out of bounds at the 23-yard line. A pickup of 2. And that play took up about 7 seconds on the clock.
For American to get more out of this, they're going to need to have some solid blocking up front. The left tackle got beat a little bit too quick, turned the corner too fast, and flushed out Howard. But there's going to need to be a little bit more sense of urgency on the offensive line to get these defensive linemen blocked up so Howard can deliver a pass downfield.
2nd down, and they'll keep it on the ground. McKee, who scored the lone touchdown, trying to do it with his feet. He gets some room to the outside, and he's going to get across midfield as he's pushed out of bounds to the 48. How about that play? It looked like it may be a gain of 2 or 3, and instead it turns into a gain of 28.
Great job. McKee's vision was just solid. He takes the pass, cuts out to the right, and then after he gets to the second level, he then brings it all the way back to the left. He sees a funnel and gets to the sideline and most importantly, gets out of bounds so no additional time gets off the clock as they're trying to get up to the field.
31 seconds remain. Howard with a quick throw there. That one could have been a much bigger play, but the throw wasn't accurate enough.
Not accurate, a little bit behind him, and you want to lead your receiver in that situation. That now they're forced to burn their final timeout just outside of field goal range, and with about 27 seconds left, there's going to need to be at least 1 to 2 more plays just to get them in field goal range and get this timeout so they can get an additional score before going into half.
2nd and long, but it doesn't really matter because you still need to pick up at least a good solid 30 yards to get a field goal attempt here, you would assume?
30 yards, considering it's raining. There is no rush, but at the same time, it's the accuracy and getting a solid kick on the ball. And for American, this is a chance at what we like to call the double score. You score right before halftime, and then you're getting the ball coming out at half, and you can score again, so you could effectively put 10 to 14 points potentially on the board and really distance yourself from this national team.
Howard buying time. Now he's going to fire downfield. Looking for him, and can he come down with it again? He comes down with it, but out of bounds.
Did you see the arm on Howard?
Got a rocket.
And just a little bit. I mean, minuscule when you think about the arc angles of throwing that ball from that distance from where he was. He was about 3 degrees off to the right. But to give the pump fake, buy yourself a little bit of time and release it, throwing off your back foot to the right and just a little bit outside. Tremendous throw and tremendous haul there by Harmon to stay with catching the ball even though it was out of bounds.
Final 17 seconds. They're going to try to do it. They'll pick up a couple. It'll be 4th down. It doesn't really matter because you do have the chance maybe now to extinguish all 12 seconds here and heave it into the end zone.
One last shot at the end zone, or if you have a clean look at about a 15-yard out, because you have to throw sideline routes if you are going to do it, so you can at least get the ball out and potentially a 1st down to get your kicking team enough time to run on the field and kick.
Howard fires it downfield. This one has a chance, and it is caught. Oh, wow! Touchdown!
Or just go for all the marbles there. Amazing, amazing play there.
Stephen Smothers with the grab. The West Virginia commitment laying out in the end zone. And how about the throw by Keon Howard? And a penalty marker comes in at the last moment.
Have a dead ball. I'm supposed to like conduct on the receiving team. Big assessed on the kickoff.
So it goes against Stephen Smothers, but man, it's the All-America Bowl. You got to celebrate this type of a catch, right?
And right there, look at Howard take his time, climbs up in the pocket, delivers that deep ball, right, running that deep corner route, and absolutely great throw, and an even more spectacular catch by Smothers to look it in and catch the ball, get both feet in bounds, and take the ball to the ground. Great job on the American team, and that is an amazing play right there for those young men. Yep, that was the penalty right there, being that it was 2 teammates celebrating together and jumping off the ground. It's an all-star game. You got to celebrate. That's just, you know, I get the excessive celebrations that have spurned to that point to where these are so conscious, but at the same time, these young men are having fun. They're enjoying playing together, and it's been a long week, so all your hard work's now being shown on this field. So you want to let loose a little bit. It wasn't, you know, it's not degrading. It's not in anybody's face, but, you know, I get it. And not a bad time to do it with 6.3 left before going into half.
Stephen Smothers with our offense, defense, next level play, 42 yards. It's been a big day of football, but that one could still be a Sports Center top 10.
There could very well be. I think there should be a high school game in there, and that was worthy of it.
Keeping the feet in bounds, making the grab. And all as the first half nearly came to its conclusion. Now you go back to the national team. They're trying to march down the field and score a touchdown, instead a couple of incomplete passes, and they give an opportunity for the American team. And Howard now, who has 127 yards passing through the air, a touchdown and interception, showing that gun.
Showing the accuracy. Howard coming into this game last 2 years over 3,000 yards passing, at Laurel High School. So, and he's thrown over 43 touchdowns. So the kid is no stranger to throwing deep balls and connecting with receivers in the end zone.
Maybe one final opportunity for the national team as the seconds expire on the first half. 2 quarters in the books. Here in the 10th Offense, Defense, All-American Bowl. It ended with a bang. Steven Smothers, 42 yards on this touchdown completion. It goes Howard to Smothers. And it's the American leading 21-6 at the break here in Daytona Beach on ESPN. (21-6), the American on top of the national here at the break. And down on the field with the president offense defense is our own Olivia Stacy.
Yes, Rick Whittier joins us now, and it is certainly a rainy night, but we are toughing it out right now. And Rick, Offense Defense Sports has been organizing full contact football camps for over 45 years, and you're currently in 40 different locations across the nation. You've had such a high success rate. 62% of players who play in this particular bowl will go on to play in the NFL. What do you feel is such an important aspect of this camp?
Well, again, starting with the kids young, getting a chance to work with them and develop them early, get them headed in the right direction. And by the time we get them in, 7th and 8th grade, teaching them that they're now official college recruits, we kind of get them prepared for the next level, which is high school for most of them. And then in high school, we just prepare them for college. So I think having them every summer for the length of time that we do, the number of programs that we have, and the seasons that we have. So we get them in the spring for mini camps, summer for summer camps, a week long, and then this camp we get another chance to get with them for a week or so. And it just gives us multiple times through the year to kind of make a small impact on them and to prepare them.
And the players in this particular bowl game were hand-selected either at one of those camps that I mentioned earlier across the nation, and a third of them are recruited by your talent scout department. Can you talk about that selection process? What do you look for in these football players?
Gosh, we look for I suppose it's different than many of the other high school All-American games. We're really looking for kids that are going to make an impact next year in college. So we're looking for kids that God has given them size and speed and some attribute that really is immeasurable that is going to be needed next year. So we really focus on the kids that are physically prepared, and then we get a chance to work with them technically and help develop their technique a little bit to further prepare them too. So we're truly focusing on getting a kid that is going to be ready next year and hopefully in 3 or 4 years be ready to play on Sundays.
And this bowl week consists of so many different activities, from recruiting seminars to autograph signing sessions and even a speed camp. What do you feel is one of the major highlights of this offense-defense bowl week?
You know, getting together as friends, getting together as a team, and these kids don't know each other. They come from all over the United States, so we get a chance to give them get them together and build a team. So teamwork and getting them to work together, make new friends. They'll be lifelong friends with many of these kids. So I think it's that. And then a chance to compete at a level that they've never competed at this level before. These are the best kids from all over the United States, and most of these kids have never had an opportunity like that yet, but they will.
And Rick, when we were out at the speed camp earlier this week, you said not only are you looking for players with top physical attributes, but you're looking for players with a good heart and a solid work ethic and a positive attitude. How important is that when selecting these players?
It's the most important thing in the world. It's a kid that's going to be around. You know, you can get flashes in the pan that are going to be there, kids that aren't well grounded, kids that are going to make mistakes and they're going to be out of their program. So we're looking for kids that are well-grounded, kids that really have been are really prepared to, and humble kids and prepared to go in for the long term.
All right, thank you so much, Rick, for the time.
Thank you.
And now we are going into a break. We'll be back with more as we go into the third quarter of this game. Thank you so much.
Defense football camps ages 7 to 17. Over 40 plus locations across the nation. Join us this summer and learn the skills necessary to dominate the gridiron. Offense, defense football camps. The oldest and best contact camps in the country. OD.com.
You could be the best in your house.
And then your state. Then get all the love.
You could be the best in this house.
You could be faster than the fastest.
You can carry on a legacy.
Then add a couple of these.
And then make everyone want to be like you.
And you can stop there, but you won't, because you're not done yet.
For the athletes moving the game forward, Gatorade's creating the fuel to do the same. Fueling today, fueling the future.
It's a rainy night in the Sunshine State. The offense-defense All-American Bowl, American leading 21-6 as we welcome you into the broadcast booth here at the half. Alongside Super Bowl champion Max Starks, Bernie Gunther with you. And Max, you take a look at what we saw in the first half. The American team, their offense really showed its explosiveness.
Started out a little bit slow in the first series, but after that, Keon Howard made a great job of really orchestrating this offense, finding open receivers, and what can we say, Anthony Williams,
right. Solid
job running the ball. And then, of course, McKee out of the backfield, and, of course, the big play to end the half. Smothers, deep, ESPN top 10 worthy catch, and you see that's why the score is 21-6.
Take a look at the first half highlights. There were plenty of highlights. And as Olivia talked about, over 60% of these athletes that have played in this bowl game move on to the next level. So we're seeing some next level talent here. It started with a block punt.
Started with the block punt. Elijah Vukovic just looking the ball in. Jordan Woods applies some pressure, gets the block. Vukovic hauls it in, and a great job by him.
And the American team, though, got on the scoreboard using the arm of Howard. Here is the 42-yard touchdown play. Smothers in the corner of the end zone. How about that grab?
A tremendous grab. Keon Howard steps up in the pocket, feels the pressure, and delivers a dart to the corner for Smothers to go up and catch it. And you saw before that, McKee made a great run to cap that off, that score with the rushing attack.
Take a look at the first half statistics. Obviously, the American leading in total yards, the national leading in rushing yards, but what do you feel like this national team is going to need to do better in the second half?
The national team, what they're going to need to do is make sure that they put an onus on passing the ball, finding the wide open receiver, and controlling this tempo. You can see behind us, this is not the best conditions to pass the ball, so you're wanting to see the run game, but it's going to come down to making smart and efficient passes to get those chunks you're going to be necessary to get back in this game in the second half.
Yeah, take a look at that first half for the national team. Probably the most disappointing thing is even in that first quarter, they had the football 95% of the time, but yet they are still without a touchdown. We are at the break here at Daytona Beach Municipal Stadium. Offense, defense, All-American Bowl. It has been All-American so far. They got a 21-6 lead at the break.